was going somewhere with the question, but it has shifted a little, so I'm going to follow how it's going.
Okay.
One of the biggest challenges that I personally faced coming up in the industry was that I didn't have legal representation. And when I decided to have legal representation, I was lucky to have people who could see the vision of where I was going. Talking about ACAS law, right? It was the right timing for the conversation that I had with them. But a lot of managers that I speak to now, that I say to them, yes, your artist should have a lawyer. You need to have a lawyer as well. At least somebody who's looking through your contracts, your documents, just so you don't get into situations. I don't sign anything without talking to my lawyers, even if it's a phone call to say, guys, see what they gave me, or what are your thoughts? And I tell managers to do this, but I also have to be honest about the reality that they deal with, which is for me to get a lawyer, it will cost me money. So I meet with managers who struggle, and they tell me, look, I want to get a lawyer, even for my artist, but we can't afford it right now. What is the best way to approach you if I don't have money? I know this is, for some people, this is a very difficult conversation to have because the work is tedious, right? But if I don't have money, what is the best way to approach you, or what would you advise me to do? I'm a new manager. I have this new artist. We're looking for legal representation, but I don't have money. What do I do?
Advise me on the sort of value you will add to me if I work for you for free. So eventually, I won't be working for you for free because you're adding some form of value. So convince me about the value you would bring to me.
So let me speak to that. So when I approached ACAS Law to represent me, I didn't have money. So I wrote a plan. I went to sit down. I think Mr. Martins was there, Kike was there, and I wrote a plan about what I'm going to do as Godwin Tom and why they should take me on. So I mean, they still give me discounts, but I was very lucky. So I think that point is extremely essential for most managers. If you can show value for where you're going and show your work ethic and show what you're doing, I think it'll work. But is there any other way?
Yeah, for me, I think if you're special, I don't know, I'm really, really sentimental about the kind of people I represent. If you're special, I can go out of my way to commit resources to making sure that I'm a part of your journey and your journey is easier. Sometimes when I share my experiences with my wife, she doesn't like it that I'm so passionate about talents, because I'm already doing the work. Then I remember like, but boy, this guy has not done anything.
Yeah.
So, I don't like people who are not that talented and then, or who are not deserving of.
Not very special.
Yeah, so some talents are not special really, and I don't see myself, like Jay-Z said in the book. He told Ellie Reid, he said, "Would you like to sit down with that guy, waiting to get the Grammys? Do you see him doing that?" And when Jay-Z told Ellie Reid, that kind of reformatted his brain. Ellie Reid had been working in the music industry for many years, but the essence of that statement is, do you see these guys talented enough, special enough, devoted enough to attaining the highest heights? Although nice, they have the potentials. So even myself, I'm always looking out for people that are going to be part of the future. Because, of course, most of these A-lists already have their business set up in a particular way. And as a lawyer myself, I want to be part of the next wave of maybe the Omalays or the new generation of people that would really shift the culture. So if I see a talent that is special, I could even go out of my way to be part of their journey. It's not like I'm hunting to be their lawyer, but trying to provide resources and help them. Then if we're able to now cement the relationship, that's an added cherry on top of the cake.
Mm.
So that's my approach. Then again, if you're not all of that, if the business side of my brain kicks in, then I'm looking at, you know, if any good thing comes along from, you know, doing anything short term or long term, then the office would earn money. That's what people say contingency fee, you know, for lawyers. So those are the two things I can speak to on that issue for now.
Okay, so this is my own angle. Why it will be a bit hard for me? Because I've represented a few people that came to me. Do you understand? I mean, I have this belief in them. Let's even not go into creatives now. I talked about Samsung.
Mm.
They came to me to draft. A representative of Samsung came to me to draft an agreement, saying after this we're going on to bigger things. You can't tell me that Samsung hasn't drafted an agreement since then, because they've not come back to me.
Yeah.
You can't tell me they've been waiting since then. Someone has been drafting the agreements, and
Yeah.
that is one. Two, in this music industry, I've worked with a few people that they were like next to the ground at the time they came to me. Just do this. Do you understand? And I went all in. Like, let's get it on. What do you need? These artists now, I don't even know. I don't even have their phone numbers, but they'll call me in the midnight. Then, do you understand? They'll call me in the midnights, want to ask me what's the situation of things. What are we doing now? Do you understand? Even my mother would not call me at the time. Do you understand? The respect will be there. So, and after solving this situation, they'll tell you things are getting better. You will see the progress, and gradually they become
the
you
cost of
kinda-
coming.
exactly. You
They
don't
become
get to
distant.
see them. I'm not going to name names. I can remember one.
People name names.
I'm not going to name names, brother. Someone actually took me to a big law firm, the biggest law firm in Lagos, telling me he has his uncle there that wants me to. And I got there with him, and the supposed uncle was asking, so how far have you gone with the case? I did everything. Do you understand? I figured this was someone that couldn't do anything. Even you couldn't even go to the radio station at the time to talk about anything. Everywhere was blocked for him. And I looked at the what they had in court. I looked at everything they filed, and I figured, why are we even struggling with these people? It's an agreement between a company and an individual. And for a company, two people needed to sign for the company.
Mm.
Do you understand? And two people, I'm talking about two shareholders. And execution goes to the root of every agreement. It was not properly executed. Do you understand? So I put a stop to everything. And that was the last I heard of that same guy. Do you get? And I went all in. I don't even know where the guy is anymore. And that's not the only person. A lot of people they'll come to you.
They've scarred me, bro.
You know, I've told you this. We were in London together one
Yeah.
day. We discussed it for like 3 days, you know. I said 3 days, about 3 hours that day in London. Like, this. And you're like, how do you even get to do this? You said your own part of the story to like, look, I faced this, but I didn't even go, you know. So my own thing is, I'll work with you. If I see the talent, and if I feel like working with you, I will. But you bear the running costs. At the same time, we would have an agreement that will state how you intend to pay me for my services. Do you understand? But that I will spend my own hard-earned money to help your case that you sort me later. No. I'm done.
I mean, on the contrary to what Akemi has said, talent, yeah, fine. That's fantastic. But
Me, I've gone to war with Yamisi, so me, I know where she's coming from.
I don't
so funny.
care how
Talented, yeah.
I can bullshit Jay-Z.
Michael
as
Jackson.
he is. Yes, as he is, as I am. I kid you not.
James Brown.
I don't care about your talent. What I'm about is your attitude. If you're a person of character, and if you're adding value, if you're not giving me these new guys you're talking about, there is one of them. He has the big. He had the biggest song in 2020. This guy literally was rolling on the floor. He wants me to be his lawyer, blah blah blah. And I went for a meeting with him one time. His attitude sucked like a bad
Can I tell you were
rotten
lucky?
fish.
Can I tell you were lucky? Because you figured that at the time.
So that's what I'm saying.
Knee deep.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
At the point when I knew that this guy's character sucked, I just kept him as my, young fella. Hey, there's no
busy.
need to. I'm not thrilled about anybody's talent. You can be
I know the
talented.
funny thing.
If you
they
don't
pick
have the
your-
right attitude,
Yeah, but I'm thinking
not
they
going
become
to-
that way when they arrive.
no.
That's the thing.
no.
Usually when
this
at the
one has
start,
not even really
you will be
arrived.
surprised that someone that will pick your call, that will call you at 4 a.m. Someone that will call you at 4 a.m. will not pick your call at 12 p.m. when he is right where he wants to be. Then they will tell you, I don't pick numbers I don't
but
know.
the reason
but
why
the
I
day you
said-
called me, I didn't know your number too. Now someone gave you my number. Then they will tell you, calls don't too plenty. How many calls I won't pick? But you're a businessman. Sometimes they forget that the music is not the business. So you yourself, you are the business, not the music you are singing. Because your talent, maybe your talent will be there forever, but your reign is short-lived. You can't be. I doubt if you see not too many artists.
The talent can't even
be
be
there
there
for
forever.
for 5. Not
'Cause you will
too
go.
many people can sing for 5 years and you'd be
Yeah,
like, let's
be
go for his
hyped.
concert. Trust me. Some will break in and not break through. Do you understand? A lot of them. But the moment they have one banging song on, Rhythm FM and
Yeah, I think
know.
we can all speak to our experiences, and we can do that.
So
for
I mean,
hours.
I hear what you're saying, Akiyemi, but don't you think a lot of these things are because, before I used to be very passionate, right, about things. I was very very passionate. Then I realized that I needed to. Passion was like a sports car. You understand? I needed brakes. You understand? And then restraint came in, and I started paying a lot more attention, not just to my gut, but to the way people were reacting to questions or reacting to statements. Because I think a lot of the time, because of how excited we are about the talent, right, we don't pay attention to their personality or their character. And then you see it later. And the reason why you see it later is because you were so excited
at the time.
about the talent. And so I get where you're coming from when you're like, it usually pops up. Because if you, as they say, if you want to test somebody, give him money.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that will happen. But if you pay attention, you might see some of those traits.
Yeah, Godwin, the thing is this here. Even when you are special, it doesn't mean that, the thing is, if you are special and you are really, really at the lowest of your low, and you can't afford me, or you can't afford the services, I'm going to work regardless. Now, people always want to pick your brain. They want to come for the value you have. They want to stand next to you. They want you to advise them. I've been really, really bullish about earning money for maybe almost 4 years now. And that's not a question because I know what my bills tell me every day, every month.
Yeah.
So I already have like a channel of me, living the kind of lifestyle I want, or even wanting to live a better lifestyle. But so I look at the back and I see where I'm also coming from. People took chances on me. Some of my mates, they traveled to London. They came back. We never had entered London that time.
I know now.
They came back with books. They bought books for me just because they saw how passionate I am about what I do. And the kind of passion I have from 10, 12, 15 years ago, I still have. So if I see some guys that they really need this help, I'll do it. I have lawyers that I'm mentoring. Even if it's not my personal time, I'm able to teach other people, come on, let's help this guy. We pitch in, then we do that. But again, when they start, taking those little steps and then they're embracing prominence, and the real character will start to manifest. And I bear no grudge. If I was central to your story when you were taking those baby steps, but now you're a giant, and then you don't even care. You don't even have my number. Many cases like that. Maybe it will make for a good read when I started writing books about my experiences. So I'm not really strong on.
Okay, so
Whether
let me
this
let
guy
me let me give
pays
a
me now
personal
or-
personal experience, because
Yeah.
obviously this is not from a legal perspective, but I'm looking at it from, because it's emotional.
Of course.
It can be heart wrenching when you give your time, your energy, your heart, and then someone just after you've done the help and done taking all the bullets, someone's like, all right, to do, you know. But personally, I bear grudges, right? Even if I will end up dealing with it and we can address it, but you will know that I bear a grudge. And one of the things that I've learned
Me
to
too,
do,
man. I'm manager Shaman. I don't forget.
but one of the things I've learned to do is I've learned to then say, okay, so how do I want to approach this without getting angry anymore, right? So Yemisi said one thing. Said she charges consultants.
Consultation.
You call her. You want to see, bro. Yemisi has seen everything. Me, I've seen fights that she has seen. That me sometimes I do. There are times when Yemisi is angry that if I call her, she'll be angry with me at that point. So, but I've seen those situations. So how do I not put myself in that space? So I started creating multiple options. So now I have, for myself, I have free workshops that people can tap into if you are ready. If you're very interested in learning about this thing that I do, here's a free workshop for you. It doesn't come often, but it comes. Then here's an ebook. It's 2K. Buy the ebook, read something. If you buy the ebook, you become part of a book club. And I have meetings with you for the whole month. I have 2 to 3 meetings with you, right? So that's another way. So 2K per month, you have access to me. Then I created a platform called the Network, right, which is not something I mostly advertise, but the Network is a place where if you want to have access to me once every week, you pay a subscription every quarter and you can join the network. Then there's the training program. Then there's consulting, group consultancy, and so that way, whichever way your
You
pocket
can
falls,
meet me anywhere.
right,
At any
you
point.
can find me.
That
And
you
I
can
think
afford.
that's one other way that I personally think, because I'm looking at it, why I asked that question is I'm looking at it from the perspective of there are many people saying I need help from lawyers, but lawyers have bills, they have things to sort out. So is there any way we can come up with a similar solution for people who need that help as far as law comes through? Does it exist, or is there a way we can create
Yeah,
that?
there's a video I posted this morning. Like someone was Styles P was really lamenting his publishing situation. and
Yeah,
then
that he signed in the 90s, yeah.
He said he's almost 50, he's 47, but I signed something in 96. I'm still stuck. So I think for indigent talents, maybe like a union, because yes, there was a time a South African artist reached out to me wanting me to represent him. Then I gave him my charges, and it was like, man, he has to consult his union, and then his union helped him. They referred him to a non-profit Lawyers for Creative kind of situation, like an organization that was lawyers for non-profits.
But we don't have that here, do we?
Yeah, but I think Bimbo can champion that.
Only people can champion.
We will support occasionally. We'll pitch in our time. But
I think
Bimbo
he's
can,
more passionate about.
Bimbo is
So
about
the
the
problem
money.
now
more
is who will
passionate
do it.
about
No,
artists.
Bimbo
without-
can bail the cat.
I mean, for a particular period in our firm, we did it.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
But you're
where
not
we're
having it
doing-
anymore, have you?
To some extent, we still do, but everything still boils down
There's
to your
an
character.
exchange of value.
Yes, exchange of
I
value,
mean,
character.
like what he
you know.
said, it's actually very hard to determine what kind of character an artist that needs your help has at the moment, because it will come to you like you are the.
No,
See,
trust me, you will know. I just
you
gave
know-
an example of
it's
one.
like it's
that
like
wants
it's like
me-
a new
that, like,
relationship.
The guy was begging me as though
Mm.
his career dependent
on you helping.
on me being
Yep.
his lawyer.
That's why I said you were lucky to
But then
figure
he still
at the
showed
time.
me.
Do you know the number of people that you meet and they'll tell you? I know I have clients that would. I have one that called me. I've told you this. I think I was in the US then. He called me and like, someone is about to sign me now. I think he wasn't aware of the amount, the sign up fee that they were going to give to him. So I think the moment he read it, I'm like, so I'm going to give 10% of this to this lawyer. I thought, like, I mean, this guy can't be bad all the way. He signed without coming to me. Akinyemi called me. They don't sign your boy. Which boy? I don't know. Because he told me to check my mail before, I should keep checking my email. He's going to send me the contract to read. But he thought to himself, they are paying me 5 million. This guy is not even in Nigeria. Why am I paying him 500,000? Because he thought to himself, I'm like, so it didn't take too long. Maybe like
The story
2
changed.
months afterwards, and he called me. Called Shizzy. Called Komi. I don't even know I'm Komi. One comedian.
Yeah.
That was my cousin. That was actually the person that introduced him to me. Like, Alpha, check this. Komi was like, Kozo, if you read them if you want, but me, personally, no go read that. So I mean,
I'll
based
read
on
it, but you pay 5 million
no,
before I read it.
based on curiosity.
No.
No.
I'm too busy
I
to
read
be
it
curious about
for my own
somebody's
benefit.
bullshit.
I just wanted to know
What kind of
what kind of, you understand? But the moment I saw that thing, and I laughed. The guy called me for 2 years. I kept on saying we will have a meeting. I wasn't just ready because first of all, that 5 million would have gone even before I came back. Then that is one. 2. Then I saw that. How do you sign something where they said you have no rights to any form of copyrights to anything you have done? Independency of the agreements. And at the time, you had the biggest song. You produced the biggest song in Niger at that time. Do you understand? So that 5 million the 5 million actually meant a lot to him at the time. Couldn't think of what would come from a song that is actually the biggest song at that time. But one thing I would have told him was that the song came out before the agreement. You have a fighting chance. They said in the course of this agreement, any song that you produce. You understand?
So you see, so this is my
But I wasn't going to
this
tell
is the
you.
reason why no matter how many contracts I've read, and I've read a lot, I just never behave like a lawyer because I am not. There are so many loopholes that lawyers identify. But I mean, when we're talking about money and talking about amounts, many people will be watching this thing and be thinking,
Sorry to cut you.
yes.
Let me give you one example.
Aha.
I'm so sorry because if I don't say it now, I'll forget. So I have this manager friend who made me draft an agreement between his producer client and a performing artist. So because I was representing the producer, the producer agreement favored the producer. Now, this same manager had another performing artist that needed to sign a producer agreement with another producer. Am I
see where you're
making sense?
going.
Now, instead of the
doesn't want to
stupid
pay
ass to come back to me to make me,
Duplicated that thing. and
yes, he now the asshole now
Friendly fire.
used the agreement that I used for his
For his
producer
producer.
client.
Used it
He used it for his artist client. Now, unfortunately for him, somehow, I can't remember what happened. The agreement came to me, and I'm like, "Yo, this is me.
But I didn't draft
This is me, but this is not me at the same time. You see what I mean?" And then I said,
Rank
I
Xerox.
didn't want to disturb you, blah, blah. I said, you see the problem now. You have worked against
Yourself.
your artist client. Because what I did for you then favored your producer client. Now you've used the same agreement thinking that you're smart. All you need to do, kini lawyer and she, just change the
Isn't this lawyer they do sef?
just change the what's it called now? The names
The
of the
names.
parties and addresses. And that's how they all got into trouble.
Now I always tell these people when they come, I've fought with many clients because they say, no be anything you did do. Go law school now.
No be president.
Now, Shemini, you just edit. How do you say these things?
I mean, I think it's equivalent to somebody that said to me once, said, no be follow you, the follow artists go show.
Wow.
Right? You know, because I remember I was negotiating a deal, and you know, the guy made a comment. I can't remember what he said, but he was trying to be funny, and I said, you don't want me to eat. Because if you cut the way you're cutting this thing, by the time the artist won't even earn enough for me to earn money.
Something.
And he goes, I no be follow you, they follow artist go show. You know those. So those I see people say so I can imagine what they say to lawyers when they say,
That's
if
you,
I go
right?
on this website, I can download this.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
This
I've seen
contract.
cases where people download.
Yeah, a lot. I've seen a lot.
contracts
People
and
don't
You
like.
now see, you now read, you now see,
Yeah.
it's under the law of the United States
Or
of
Georgia.
People don't like to pay for things they can't touch physically.
That's
know,
the major problem.
They
we
don't
have
like
in this
to
country.
pay for
services.
service.
They only pay
You know,
for products.
they would pay the people building, but will not pay the architects
No,
because they don't see what you are doing.
An artist will pay for a $5,000 pair of Gucci shoes, but will not be able to pay his
Legal
lawyer.
fees.